The glittering lights of Hollywood often mask the deeper, more somber truths behind the scenes. Santa Barbara, the iconic daytime soap opera that captivated audiences from 1984 to 1993, brought passion, intrigue, and unforgettable characters into millions of homes. Yet behind the glamour and dramatic storylines, many of the talented actors who breathed life into the show faced very real challenges beyond the camera. As of 2025, the painful reality is that 43 members of the Santa Barbara cast have passed away, some after long battles with illness, others in sudden or tragic circumstances. Their lives were marked not only by their contributions to television history, but also by personal struggles, hardship, and in many cases, quiet suffering. This retrospective seeks to honor their memory, to shed light on the real people behind the roles, and to acknowledge the profound impact they had, both on screen and off. Nicholas Coster made a lasting impact on audiences with his portrayal of Lionel Lockridge, a charming, scheming, and sharp-witted gentleman, in Santa Barbara beginning in 1984 at the age of 51. His refined demeanor and subtle humor brought Lionel to life, making him an integral part of the complex dynamics within the Capwell family and earning him a dedicated fan base. Although Coster appeared in several notable series including Dynasty, The Bay, and numerous other soap operas, Lionel Lockridge remains the defining role of his decades-long career. However, Coster's personal life was marked by profound sorrow. Both of his marriages ended in divorce, leaving emotional scars, and his relationship with his children was often strained, particularly after the tragic loss of his son, grief that haunted him for the remainder of his life. In his later years, Coster struggled with depression and mental health issues, retreating into isolation. He passed away on June 26, 2023 at the age of 89, leaving behind a remarkable career and a legacy tinged with personal tragedy. Jed Allen made a significant impact on audiences with his portrayal of C.C. Capwell, a powerful, ambitious, and sometimes ruthless businessman, in Santa Barbara starting in 1986 at the age of 51. Allen skillfully portrayed a complex character, a father who deeply loved his children but was often driven by a need to control everything around him. C.C. Capwell not only solidified Allen's place as a central figure on the show but also helped cement his legacy, alongside other iconic roles in Days of Our Lives and General Hospital. However, Allen's personal life was tinged with sadness. His marriage to actress Toby Brown ended in divorce, and his relationship with his children, particularly with his son Rick, who suffered from a chronic illness, was often strained, leaving him with much emotional pain. Despite a successful career, these personal struggles weighed heavily on him. He passed away on March 9, 2019, at the age of 84 after a long battle with cancer, leaving a profound sense of loss among fans and colleagues alike. Roscoe Bourne made a lasting impression in Santa Barbara with his portrayal of Robert Barr, a passionate and complex character torn between good and evil, when he joined the show in 1989 at the age of 39. Bourne not only brought Robert to life but also excelled in portraying Robert's twin brother, Quinn, delivering a performance full of emotional depth and dangerous allure. While his career had its ups and downs, Santa Barbara remained his greatest success, and later roles in The Young and the Restless and other TV shows did not achieve the same level of acclaim. Roscoe Bourne's personal life was as complicated as the characters he portrayed. His first marriage ended bitterly, and he struggled with addiction and mental health issues for many years. These personal challenges significantly impacted his relationships, and he faced a financial crisis in his later years. His worsening depression led to exhaustion, and on March 3, 2020, Roscoe Bourne passed away at the age of 69 due to complications related to mental health issues, a tragic end for an artist who had long fought his inner demons. Terry Lester brought a new energy to Santa Barbara when he took on the role of Mason Capwell in 1989 at the age of 39. With his intelligent and deeply layered performance, Lester portrayed Mason as an intellectual man with inner turmoil, caught in complicated family relationships and a turbulent love life. The complexities of Mason's character seemed to mirror Lester's own personal struggles, as he too experienced significant personal upheavals. Although Lester had been married, his marriage ended in divorce, and he struggled with prolonged loneliness and deep disappointments, which gradually led to his withdrawal from the public eye. Despite a career filled with ups and downs, Terry Lester was always recognized as a talented artist capable of portraying complex, authentic characters. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2003 at the age of 53 due to complications related to AIDS, a heartbreaking loss for an artist who still had much left to give. John Callahan left a lasting impression in Santa Barbara with his portrayal of Craig Hunt, a morally complex and ambitious character, starting in 1989 at the age of 36. With his commanding presence and captivating energy, Callahan brought to life a man constantly entangled in shady schemes and power plays, making Craig one of the most memorable characters of the show. Behind the scenes, John Callahan's life mirrored the inner turmoil often experienced by his character. In addition to Santa Barbara, he was also well known for his role in All My Children, which solidified his place in American television. However, Callahan's personal life was far from smooth. His marriage to actress Eva LaRue, which lasted from 1996 to 2004 and produced a daughter, Kaya, ended amid professional and personal pressures. Callahan also battled substance abuse and mental health issues, challenges that led to increasing isolation and took a toll on his health. Ultimately, on March 28, 2020, John Callahan passed away at the age of 66 due to complications following a stroke, marking the end of the life of a talented artist who grappled with both the spotlight and the darkness within. Christopher Mayer made a memorable impact in Santa Barbara when he portrayed T.J. Daniels in 1987 at the age of 33. With his charming appearance and graceful acting, Mayer successfully brought to life T.J., a mischievous and charismatic character entangled in complex romantic relationships, making him a fan favorite. However, behind the scenes, Mayer's real life was marked by struggles with severe depression and substance abuse, issues that deeply affected his personal relationships, including the breakdown of his marriage. Despite being a father, Mayer's difficulties in controlling his personal demons prevented him from forming a deep connection with his child, leaving his private life in turmoil. Although his career showed great promise, particularly due to his role in Santa Barbara, his inner battles ultimately overshadowed his success. Christopher Mayer passed away from cancer in 2011 at the age of 57, leaving behind a career full of potential but also a life marked by silent suffering and emotional turmoil. Janice Page, who portrayed Minx Lockridge in Santa Barbara in 1990 at the age of 69, brought strength and complexity to the role of a powerful and determined mother, enriching the dynamic of the Lockridge family. With her elegant demeanor and indomitable will, Page's portrayal of Minx made her an unforgettable character. However, Janice Page's personal life contrasted sharply with the strength of her on-screen persona. She experienced multiple failed marriages, and despite having children, her family relationships were often unstable and emotionally strained. The wounds from her past deeply affected both her career and her personal happiness. Nonetheless, Page remained resilient, continuing her career and leaving behind a lasting legacy, despite the emotional scars she carried. After a prolonged battle with illness, Janice Page passed away in 2024 at the age of 101, marking the end of a life filled with both glamour and sorrow, yet also underscoring her perseverance in overcoming life's challenges. Marge Doucet, who played Pamela Capwell Conrad in the mid-1980s at the age of 49, excelled in portraying a manipulative and ambitious character in Santa Barbara. With her sharp gaze and commanding presence, Doucet made Pamela an unforgettable figure, one driven by her desire for power, even at the expense of her own family. Behind the scenes, however, Marge Doucet's life was marked by profound emotional pain. In 1993, she tragically lost her son, Randall, a devastating blow that led her into a prolonged period of depression and caused her to retreat from the public eye. In her later years, Doucet faced not only loneliness but also declining health and financial difficulties. She passed away on January 28, 2020 at the age of 83, leaving behind an impressive legacy in the entertainment world, yet a poignant reminder that even those who shine on screen often carry deep personal sorrow. Henry Darrow, who portrayed Rafael Castillo in Santa Barbara in 1989 at the age of 56, brought profound depth and authenticity to his character, a man grappling with family conflicts and personal tragedies. Darrow's genuine and introspective acting skillfully captured Rafael's strength and vulnerability. However, Darrow's personal life mirrored the emotional struggles of his character. He went through multiple broken marriages and faced strained relationships with his children. Despite being hailed as one of the first Latin actors to achieve success in Hollywood, Darrow faced financial difficulties and career challenges throughout his life. His final years were marked by illness, loneliness, and silent grief. Henry Darrow passed away in 2021 at the age of 87, leaving behind a rich artistic legacy but also a reminder of the quiet sacrifices made behind the scenes. Michelle Nicastro, who played Sasha Schmidt in Santa Barbara beginning in 1986 at the age of 26, quickly became a fan favorite due to her dynamic and ambitious portrayal of the character. Sasha, involved in complicated romantic relationships and dramatic schemes, was vividly brought to life by Nicastro, leaving a lasting impact on the series. However, Nicastro's personal life was shadowed by a private battle with breast cancer, which she fought for over a decade. Despite having a supportive family including her husband, composer Steve Goldstein, and their 2 daughters, Michelle chose to keep her illness private to protect her loved ones. Sadly, the disease eventually ravaged her body and mind. On November 4, 2010, Michelle Nicastro passed away at the age of 50, her life tragically cut short but leaving behind an enduring mark of talent and vitality. Stella Stevens, who portrayed Phyllis Blake in Santa Barbara in 1989 at the age of 51, brought a vibrant energy to her role, offering a lighthearted contrast to the more intense storylines of the series. Stevens' portrayal of Phyllis was beloved for her charm and humor, as well as her ability to inject a fresh perspective into a complex narrative. However, Stella Stevens' personal life was not without its hardships. She went through a difficult marriage to electrician Noble Herman Stevens, with whom she had a son, actor Andrew Stevens. The marriage ended in a painful divorce, leaving emotional scars that would last a lifetime. In her later years, Stevens battled Alzheimer's disease, which slowly eroded her memory and cognitive abilities. Stella Stevens passed away on February 17, 2023 at the age of 84, marking the end of a life filled with both joy and sorrow, and underscoring the fragility of life in the face of ongoing challenges from time and illness. Joel Crothers, who portrayed Jack Stanfield Lee in Santa Barbara in 1985 at the age of 44, crafted a complex and dynamic character. Jack was constantly entangled in tense situations, challenging moral dilemmas and personal conflicts, and Crothers' performance added significant emotional depth to the role. His portrayal of Jack became one of the series' most memorable. However, off-screen, Crothers faced personal struggles. He grappled with issues in relationships, social pressures, and an identity crisis during a time when acceptance was limited, leaving him feeling isolated and emotionally distressed. Tragically, Joel Crothers' life was cut short when he passed away on November 6, 1985, at the age of 44, leaving behind unanswered questions and a legacy that was never fully realized. Martinez, who gained recognition for his portrayal of Cruz Castillo in Santa Barbara starting in 1984, left a lasting impact with his depiction of a dedicated police officer deeply in love with Eden Capwell. At 36, Martinez captured the audience's attention with Cruz's unwavering commitment to justice and his passionate relationship with Eden. However, Martinez's personal life has been marked by numerous challenges. His first marriage to actress Christine Martinez ended in divorce, followed by 2 more failed marriages. He also faced the emotional devastation of losing his brother, a loss that left him deeply saddened. Fatherhood has been another struggle for Martinez, as he navigated raising his children amidst personal turmoil. Now 76, Martinez continues to pursue his acting career while sharing the emotional scars caused by his past hardships, which have had a lasting impact on both his health and spirit. Robin Mattson, who began playing Gina Timmons in Santa Barbara in 1985 at the age of 29, became iconic for her portrayal of a seductive and scheming character responsible for causing numerous on-screen tragedies. While her portrayal of Gina was captivating, Mattson's real life was far more troubled. She endured a tumultuous marriage that ended in divorce and battled substance abuse, which took a significant toll on both her career and personal life. The grief of losing her mother added to her emotional distress, leaving Mattson feeling disconnected and isolated. Now 68, Mattson has distanced herself from the spotlight, with her career overshadowed by years of personal struggles. Though she occasionally appears in public, she remains far from the actress who once captured the hearts of audiences, still grappling with the emotional aftermath of her past. Nancy Lee Grahn, who joined Santa Barbara in 1985 at the age of 29 as Julia Wainwright, portrayed a strong and intelligent lawyer navigating a turbulent personal life. Julia's character was frequently caught in complex relationships, which mirrored Grahn's own emotional struggles. After her first marriage ended in divorce, Grahn faced numerous personal challenges as a single mother, compounded by a series of failed romantic relationships that affected her emotional well-being. The death of a close family member in the early 2000s left a significant wound, contributing to her emotional journey of healing. Now 68, Grahn continues her career in the entertainment industry, though the scars from her past remain, with her personal life marked by both triumphs and enduring pain. Judith McConnell, who began portraying Sophia Capwell in Santa Barbara in 1984 at the age of 40, became a recognizable face through her portrayal of a tragic character caught in complex family dynamics. McConnell's real life mirrored the struggles of her character, particularly her own turbulent personal life. Following her first marriage's dissolution, McConnell faced the challenges of balancing her career with raising children. The loss of her father in the 1990s left an emotional wound that deeply impacted her. Despite her success as Sophia, McConnell's personal life has been fraught with emotional pain and hardship, leaving happiness always just out of reach. Now 80, McConnell lives a quiet life in retirement, reflecting on a career marked by both achievements and personal losses, often overshadowed by the sorrow of her past. Robin Wright, who portrayed Kelly Capwell in Santa Barbara in 1984 at the age of 18, brought to life a vibrant and passionate character involved in romantic entanglements and family tensions. Wright's portrayal of Kelly became one of the series' most memorable, but her personal life was marked by volatile relationships. After a brief marriage to actor Dane Witherspoon, Wright married actor Sean Penn, and their tumultuous relationship, characterized by emotional highs and lows, often attracted media attention. The emotional pain from these relationships, coupled with the public scrutiny of her early roles, led to ongoing emotional struggles. Although Wright later found significant success in House of Cards and Wonder Woman, her personal life remains deeply affected by her past experiences. Now 58, Wright continues her acting career but maintains a private persona, quietly grappling with the lingering effects of her painful past while drawing strength from the accomplishments she has achieved. Lane Davies, who portrayed Mason Capwell on Santa Barbara starting in 1984 at the age of 34, captivated audiences with his sharp intellect and complex family relationships. Mason's ongoing struggles with family and love mirrored the challenges Davies faced in his own personal life. His marriage to actress Nancy Morgan, which produced 3 children, ended in a painful divorce, marking a difficult chapter both personally and professionally. As Davies' career began to decline in the late 1990s, he also confronted increasing health problems, forcing him to retreat from Hollywood. These personal and professional struggles deeply impacted his life, leading him to step away from the spotlight. Now 74, Davies lives a private life, reflecting on both his portrayal of Mason and his own troubled journey, finding peace in solitude after years of emotional turmoil and public scrutiny. Frank Runyon, who joined Santa Barbara in 1988 at the age of 35, portrayed the principled and devoted Michael Donnelly. However, his real-life struggles were far from the heroic image of his character. Despite a promising career, Runyon faced significant personal turmoil, particularly following his painful divorce from actress Meredith Baxter. This emotional upheaval, compounded by intense bouts of depression and feelings of loss, hindered his ability to maintain momentum in his career. As his marriage collapsed, Runyon struggled to regain his professional standing, causing his career to stall. Over time, feelings of isolation and emotional challenges led him to withdraw from the public eye, seeking comfort in a quieter existence. Now 71, Runyon remains largely out of the spotlight, occasionally taking small roles, but the emotional scars of his past continue to linger, affecting his life in profound and often unspoken ways. Justin Diaz, who joined Santa Barbara in 1986 at the age of 38 as the ambitious and manipulative Keith Timmons, brought complexity to a character driven by power and ambition. Diaz's portrayal of Keith, often in direct conflict with the Capwell family, made him both contemptible and compelling. However, Diaz's real life was fraught with personal struggles. His troubled marriage, which ended in divorce, was followed by another difficult marriage that faced similar challenges. Despite his acting success, Diaz battled alcoholism for many years, which strained both his personal relationships and his professional career. The emotional weight of these battles was further compounded by the severe health complications faced by his son, adding another layer of personal tragedy. Now 76, Diaz lives a quiet life, away from the public eye, continuing to grapple with the struggles of his past while seeking peace. Gordon Thompson, who began portraying Mason Capwell on Santa Barbara in 1990 at the age of 45, brought a new depth to the character, known for his sharp intellect and troubled family dynamics. Thompson's own life mirrored the character's struggles, as he faced several failed marriages and personal battles with addiction. His attempts to maintain stability in both his personal life and career were thwarted by emotional pain, and while his acting talent was widely recognized, his inability to overcome personal demons led to a stagnation in his career. Following his time on Santa Barbara, Thompson retreated from the spotlight to heal from his past wounds. Now 79, Thompson lives a more isolated life, reflecting on both the personal losses and professional challenges that have marked his journey. Richard Eden, who portrayed Brick Wallace on Santa Barbara in 1984 at the age of 25, brought strength, reliability, and charm to his character. Brick, a man of integrity, was frequently caught in emotional turmoil and family tragedies, yet remained a steadfast hero in the series. Eden's portrayal of Brick left a lasting impression on audiences, as his moral compass was tested repeatedly. Despite the promising start to his career, Eden struggled to maintain momentum, with fewer leading roles in the years that followed. His personal life too mirrored the pain his character endured. Eden's first marriage ended in tragedy with a painful divorce, followed by the heart-wrenching loss of a child. His second marriage also faced numerous challenges, including financial issues and career setbacks. Now 66, Eden lives a quieter life, avoiding the spotlight and still wrestling with personal regrets from a difficult past. Ross Kettle, who began portraying Jeffrey Conrad on Santa Barbara in 1986 at the age of 25, brought a sense of adventure and charm to his role, quickly becoming a fan favorite. Jeffrey's romantic relationships and thrilling escapades added excitement to the show, with Kettle delivering energetic performances. However, Kettle's real life was marked by personal and professional struggles. After Santa Barbara, Kettle found it difficult to secure steady work in the entertainment industry, and his personal life became increasingly unstable. A series of painful divorces strained his relationship with his children, while battles with addiction and financial difficulties further compounded his hardships. Kettle's life took a tragic turn when he lost his home in a fire, an event that devastated him emotionally and financially. Now 63, Kettle lives away from the public eye, seeking peace in a more private life, reflecting on the hardships that have shaped his journey. Karen Moncrief, who began portraying Cassandra Benedict on Santa Barbara in 1990 at the age of 27, quickly captivated audiences with her mysterious allure and the depth of her character. Cassandra's journey, filled with betrayal, sorrow, and charm, made her a character impossible to ignore. Moncrief's nuanced portrayal added complexity to the role, offering viewers an ever-evolving storyline. However, despite her success on Santa Barbara, Moncrief struggled to secure leading roles in subsequent years, leading her to gradually step away from the limelight. Her personal life was marked by significant challenges, including a highly publicized divorce and the emotional pain of a miscarriage. These personal struggles took a toll on her mental health, and the demands of single motherhood added to the burden. At 61, Moncrief has largely retreated from the public eye, seeking peace and solace in a quieter life away from the spotlight. Lee McCloskey, who joined Santa Barbara in 1988 at the age of 33, brought depth and intensity to his portrayal of Ethan Asher. With his dramatic storylines and emotionally charged family conflicts, Ethan became a memorable character. McCloskey's personal life, however, was marked by turmoil. Following a painful divorce, he struggled with emotional and financial stability, and although he found some success in guest roles after Santa Barbara, his career trajectory was never the same. These personal and professional challenges led McCloskey to withdraw from the public eye. Now 69 years old in 2025, he lives a more private life, reflecting on the emotional scars from his past, both in his personal relationships and his career. Vincent Irizarry, who played Dr. Scott Clark on Santa Barbara starting in 1987 at the age of 28, quickly became a fan favorite with his portrayal of a compassionate but conflicted doctor. However, his personal life was much less stable than his characters. Irizarry's marriage ended in divorce, and his relationships were often strained by emotional turmoil and the pressures of fame. While he achieved success on Santa Barbara, his career stagnated as he faced periods of depression and insecurity, which profoundly impacted both his personal life and professional trajectory. In 2025, at 65 years old, Irizarry remains involved in television work, though the emotional toll of his past continues to influence his life, both professionally and personally. His journey has been marked by emotional highs and lows, with no clear resolution to the struggles he has faced on screen and in his personal life. Jack Wagner, who portrayed the rebellious Warren Lockridge on Santa Barbara in 1991 at the age of 32, exuded charm and confidence, winning over fans with his compelling performance. However, behind the scenes, Wagner's life was filled with turmoil. His marriage to actress Christina Wagner ended in a highly publicized divorce, while his struggles with addiction severely impacted both his personal life and career. Despite initial success and fame, the pressure to maintain a television star image, combined with personal issues, led to a decline in his career. Family difficulties, including a strained relationship with his children, further deepened his emotional struggles. Now 65 years old in 2025, Wagner continues to work sporadically in the entertainment industry, but past traumas still weigh heavily on him, leaving him with regrets over how they have affected his personal happiness and professional legacy. Harley Jane Kozak, who portrayed the kind and gentle Mary Duval on Santa Barbara beginning in 1985 at the age of 28, won the hearts of audiences with her portrayal of a warm and sincere woman grappling with emotional and family challenges. However, Kozak's real life was fraught with profound sorrow and hardship. Her first marriage ended painfully, and her second was marred by betrayal. As a single mother, Kozak faced the added burden of raising her children while enduring the emotional pain of a miscarriage. These personal struggles affected her career, leading her to feel isolated and disconnected from the world she once knew. Despite finding success on screen, Kozak's personal life remained turbulent, impacting her emotional health and professional trajectory. Now 68 years old, Kozak has chosen a private life away from public attention, carrying the emotional burdens of the trials she has faced throughout her life and career. Stacey Edwards, who joined Santa Barbara in 1986 at the age of 21 as the spirited Haley Benson Capwell, portrayed a lively and captivating character. Haley, with her emotionally challenging romantic relationships, quickly became a memorable presence on the show. However, Edwards' real-life journey was marked by significant upheaval and pain. She endured a marriage that ended in divorce, which deeply affected her emotional well-being and left her struggling to find balance in both her personal life and career. Although she initially enjoyed success with her role as Haley, Edwards struggled to achieve the same level of recognition in subsequent years, often taking on supporting roles. Her emotional battles continued to affect her relationships, and the trauma of her past lingered in her personal life. Now 59 years old in 2025, Edwards lives a private life, avoiding public attention and reflecting on a journey that was far more complex than the love stories depicted on screen. John Allen Nelson, who portrayed Warren Lockridge on Santa Barbara starting in 1984 at the age of 25, brought to life a character defined by charm, romantic escapades, and a turbulent personal life. Warren was a multifaceted character, his mischievous demeanor often concealing emotional vulnerabilities that echoed aspects of Nelson's own experiences. After his marriage ended in heartbreak, Nelson struggled to find emotional and financial stability. The loss of a close friend deepened his emotional turmoil, which in turn affected both his career and personal relationships. Despite an initially promising career, Nelson's personal battles led to a slowdown in his professional work. At 65 years old in 2025, Nelson has opted for a quieter, more private life, away from the public eye. He continues to reflect on the pain and emotions of his past, as the inner struggles he faced still significantly impact his current life. Christopher Norris, who began playing Laura Asher on Santa Barbara in 1989 at the age of 36, created a powerful and intricate character. A strong woman, yet deeply tormented, frequently caught in tumultuous romantic entanglements and family tragedies. Laura's decisiveness contrasted with her internal conflicts, reflecting the personal struggles Norris faced off-screen. Following a painful divorce from her first husband, Norris became a single mother, and her personal challenges only intensified when she experienced a devastating family loss. These emotional scars deeply affected her life, both personally and professionally. Despite continuing her acting career, Norris' journey was marked by profound sorrow. Now 71 years old in 2025, she has chosen a life away from the spotlight, living quietly and privately. The pain and scars of her past remain intertwined with her personal and professional identity. Thank you for watching the video. How do you feel knowing that some of the actors featured have passed away? Be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to stay updated with our latest content.